With MPT's HBCU week approaching, we are joined now by Dr. Anthony Jenkins, the president of Coppin State University. Dr. Jenkins, it is great to have you back on MPT.
Well, thank you, Jeff. It is a pleasure to be back with you. So thank you for the honor and the opportunity to share your platform today.
Well, for the uninitiated out there, tell us about Coppin and the Coppin community.
Well, I'll tell you, when I arrived at Coppin State in May of 2020, we were in the midst of the global pandemic. And over the time that I've been here, Coppin has just reinforced what I thought it was even before I arrived, a dynamic institution that is committed to transforming lives and having an impact with regards to access and opportunity to any student who wants to receive a quality education. I am extremely proud of my students who come from 35 different states, the District of Columbia, 30 international countries, and my renowned faculty who are committed to shaping these students into scholars and preparing them to be the thought leaders that Baltimore, Maryland, this region, our state and nation needs, so that we can continue to elevate. So I am honored to serve as president of this institution in West Baltimore that is an anchor university that is doing so much good.
And for people who have been to Coppin, but maybe it's been 5 or 10 years, they haven't been to today's Coppin. There's
That's
a
right.
lot of change, and I know you're working on a big dorm, right?
I am. And I'm working on other things too that are coming to completion. So, anyone who's not been on our beautiful campus, say in the last 5 years, need to come visit. They would be in awe of how beautiful our campus is. We are an oasis in West Baltimore. So not only am I working on a new residence hall, and I'll talk about that here very quickly, but I'm also breaking ground, or I have broken ground, and we'll be having a ribbon cutting soon on a new College of Business. The 62,000 square foot facility is going to be spectacular. We have really focused here at the institution on how we make ourselves more green friendly. So we are focusing on lowering our carbon footprint and doing all of those wonderful things that we need to be focusing on as a university that is committed to addressing climate change and other factors that impact urban areas like ours. So that facility will come online around late August or so. And then from there, we will be moving to build our first of 2 new residential facilities. We have seen an increase in students who wish to come to Coppin, take advantage of our nationally ranked academic programs, our great environment, our wonderful faculty, but I haven't had a place to house them all. So we are now moving where we will break ground in fall of 2024 on the first residential facility, and then we will break ground on the second facility shortly thereafter. And ultimately, what I am working to do as a part of my vision is to create more of a residential community for the campus, because that offers so many benefits for students with their overall holistic development, their college experience, their retention and persistence rates, and their graduation rates, all areas which we have improved over the last 3 years.
The life of a college president is extremely busy, but extremely rewarding. I mean, you're up to date on the latest research. You're constantly meeting a lot of interesting people. I want to ask you kind of a 2-part question. Over the last year or two, as the pandemic has hopefully subsided, what has struck you about maybe an area where somebody is making a difference that you didn't know about, and maybe on the other hand, there's a situation where we as a community are not doing as well as we could be?
That's an excellent question, Jeff. And I will say this, as I think about it, will immediately go to some of my outstanding faculty that I have on this campus who are doing great research, who are very engaged and very committed to transforming environments. And so, they are the individuals who are committed to going into some community or some aspect of a community and transforming that community. And they are doing it without all the fanfare, right? They're not coming in with the, television cameras and the TV opportunities and the newspapers writing about them. They are doing it from an authentic place. And that's really the core of who Coppin State University is. We are about making transformational change. And so when those individuals go in, they go in with a laser focus, they implement change, they have a significant impact on people's lives, and then they move to the next area where they can bring solutions. And that's the type of leadership, that is the type of faculty that I have at Coppin, and I'm so excited that I have them on my team. On the other side of the spectrum, closely related to that, I think that as a university president, as faculty, as business leaders, state elected officials or federal individuals, I think that we have an opportunity to do more to create exposure for younger generations. I was just at a elementary school, and I was reading to a bunch of wonderful kids, K through 5. And after I read this book, I engaged them in conversation, and they were so engaging. They were so in awe to have the opportunity to meet me, but yet they were asking questions like about my clothing. One young man stated, I shook his hand, and then he said, I'm never going to wash my hand again, right? So, but it's not that piece for me that was so significant. What I took away from that is that the exposure that these students had at that moment. Many of them, probably none of them, had ever met a university president, right? And so I can only imagine whom else they have not met, who could influence them, who could inspire them. So I'm always looking at how we as leaders can do better and how we can expose young people to greater opportunities that will elevate and motivate them.
Well, and that has to be one of the great benefits of your location in the middle of a community with people who maybe don't have a lot of resources, have not met, a lot of people in your type of position. And I know they're welcome on campus, and all the new buildings are meant to be an open invitation to the community, not off-putting, but this is where you get access to a whole new world. And one of the areas I know we should talk about is training healthcare professionals. There's a big step up into middle-class incomes for folks, and you're getting some new state resources for that.
We are, before I dive into that, Jeff, I'll say two big things quickly. We have a summer concert tour that we have here on campus for West Baltimore and the surrounding community. We just held our first one last week. Over 1,000 community members and alumni came out to listen to live music, to have authentic, Baltimorean food and all of these great things. And so, yes, as an anchor institution, we are committed to our community holistically, not just building up our institution, but transforming lives of those who live in our community. And the other way that we do that, because we're the only 4-year university or college in the state beyond our medical institutions to offer a on-campus community health center where individuals from the community can come into Coppin and receive health care. So most every other college or university in the state and across the nation, their healthcare centers are strictly for their students. We have expanded ours to include our students, faculty, staff, and the surrounding community because, to your point, we know that we are, in many cases, the first line of healthcare for many in West Baltimore. And we believe that we have a moral and ethical obligation as an anchor institution. But with the funding that we have received, nearly $800,000, we are working to train and educate more healthcare workers. We are extremely proud of our nursing program. We have the #1 nursing program amongst all of Maryland HBCUs. And so we have a very strong track record of producing health professionals who work in local clinics and hospitals and are making a difference. And we're going to continue to push that and expand that pathway and door to opportunity because our state and city needs more nurses.
Dr. Anthony Jenkins is the president of Coppin State University. Sir, thank you for all you do, and thanks for making time for us.
Thank you again, Jeff. You take care, be well, and thank you for all that you're doing to help elevate HBCUs.